Hello, my furry friends. My name is Fuzzycup, and welcome back to Techopolis 2, episode 11. Can you believe it? We're already at episode 11. So I did a little bit of work. I've been trying to put together some sort of a building around this central area, but we've run into, let's just say, one or two little problems. Problem number one, my angel ring keeps telling me I'm running out of power because I'm using up all... Look at my XP bar. It's draining super fast. And I've been getting a little bit of XP from smelting down this cactus and stuff, but nowhere near enough. So it looks like we're going to have to upgrade our angel ring to the next tier of angel ring, which I don't actually think is too bad. We have hardened glass, we've lead and technique. Yeah, we can easily upgrade this guy. Think. And then we go to this guy. Nice. And the only thing about this guy is this guy needs power. And thankfully there is a little block here that can provide us power. This is called the Tinker's Workbench and it's from Thermal. And basically it's a charging station. You attach a, let me just pop into FreeCam. You attach a lapidary dynamo to it and it basically charges whatever you put in it. I have also made this guy here, the Fluxo magnet, which basically uses Fe or energy to magnetize things towards you. So yeah, that's now one problem solved. This one's hungry for power. The second thing that we need to solve, I put two more miners down between episodes. One was this guy. So basically I unlocked Ender Ore using the book here, which was fairly easy. It's just elite technium and a block of gold. Put down the miner and we've just enriched the chunks. So I can't fly anymore. So 2 of these ore make 1 fragment, and then 9 of them fragments make 1 ender pearl. So I thought I'd get it down now rather than have to wait for ender pearls when we need them. Also, you might notice it's a little bit more colorful here. I figured out, well, basically JEI told me, that the ruby, sapphire, and topaz, I have a few topaz around, or not topaz, peridot. The 3 gem ores basically are all the same capstone levels, so these should be at 50 ticks. Yeah, 50 ticks, which is the fastest we can do at the moment. Where was I? Oh, there we go. I did put down this guy, which is the dye ore. Again, it's an easy enough unlock. It was just 1 book and a few tech books, but this is actually the problem I'm having today. As you may know, I like to build. I am a builder at heart, but I kind of wanted gray concrete and gray concrete powder to go with that cyan terracotta over there and that new hempcrete. But to process this dye ore, we need a chemical injection chamber. But to process it, we need hydrogen chloride. And to get hydrogen chloride, we need hydrogen and chlorine to make hydrogen chloride. To make chlorine, we need brine in an electrolytic separator. And to get brine, we need to make a multiblock from mechanism. So, am I really going to spend all that time just to get some dye? Yes. Yes, I am. I believe we also need dye at the very end of the pack as well. The final technium essence. This one? No. This one? No. I haven't unlocked it yet, but I'm almost sure I need some dye essence at the end of the pack. So technically we're just working towards the end of the pack. Totally not just for decorating. It is totally just for decorating. Anywho, let's pop back over to the mechanism area and let's put this multi-block thing together. Thankfully, I've just done the exact same thing in my Vault Hunter series. Again, if you want to watch that, go to the playlist, click Vault Hunters Season 3. And yeah, you can see I just did an episode about mechanism. So I kind of know what I'm doing at the moment, but still, I didn't want to have to do it again. Hey, remember last episode when I said that I wanted to find out if you guys wanted me to keep all the mistakes in or not? Well, I just did a big mistake. I built the entire thing, and then I realized I hadn't pressed the record button. So I tore it all back down, and I'm going to build it again. On camera this time. Hold on, I'm going to double check that I pressed record. Okay, I pressed record. I feel stupid. Okay, so in this chest is everything we need to build, totally for the first time, the multi-block to make brine, to make chlorine, to make stuff, to do things, and yeah, we just need dye. I just really want the dye. So yeah, let's get started again. First of all, let's cut out 8 by 8, or 4 by 4, sorry, 4 by 4, like so. I like to have my machines sort of in the ground, so at least it looks a little bit better. Then we need to grab our thermal evaporation blocks, which are the things that make the general shape of the multi-block. And we need to put down a 4 by 4, like so. And then we do a wall all around it, leaving a 2 by 2 gap in the center. Now this multi-block has to be at least 2 high, like so. And it can go up to, I think, 18 high, but don't quote me on that one. I'm gonna go up a little bit more. Not too much, I don't want a giant one. Now, we can put the controller in here. You see it just turned into a multi-block there. The controller must not be on the base layer. It must be on one of the faces that aren't part of the base. Then we put 1 input, 1 output, and 1 for heat. Valve, valve, and valve. Next, we need to get water in here and heat into here. So I have made a aqueous accumulator, and I need 2 water. Let's break this out like so. And let's make a little reservoir right here. So the aqueous accumulator basically is a passive machine. It doesn't need power. And as long as it has a water source to the left and to the right of it, or vice versa, whatever, it will produce infinite water. And again, these can be upgraded with augments. One of those, one of those, and that will be much faster now. Then we grab our mechanical pipe, and we pipe into here. Grab our lovely configurator, shift and scroll to fluids, shift and double click to export the water from the accumulator into the machine. Here it's starting to fill up, and funnily enough, you can actually see it filling up in here as well, which I think is a cool little animation. Okay, so next we need to get this resistive heater. Normally this is made, let me just do a little bit of this. Normally it looks a little bit more like this, and then in these spots here it has 4 solar panels. But unfortunately, Mechanism does not have solar panels in this pack, because I think that's in the Mechanism generators add-on to Mechanism. So we're going to have to use this resistive heater, which is basically uses power to heat objects. So put these in and make the multi-block solid again. There we go. So what we need to do now, we need to grab all of this stuff. Export, export, export. Lapis. Lapis. And lapis. You 3 go down here. And components in all 3 of you. So you'll notice now, this can max produce 120 RF per tick. So if we use these basic universal cables, like so, and we put down this resistive heater, I think it's this way. Yeah, there we go. Like so, this can now be set to 360 RF. And that will pull all of the power from these and put it into here. You can see that is heating up quite a lot. Then we need to take the heat that this produces and get it into this port. And we do that by using these basic thermodynamic conductors, which I've actually never used before, but they are pretty easy to make. It's just copper and steel. So we do this, this. I think that should be taking the power out. Yeah, there we go. Temperature's going in. So technically, we should be making brine. Oh, wow, that was fast. Oh, it's a lot of brine, a lot of fast. Don't even think we need all 3 of those. Let's take one of these away. Turn you down to 240. I think it's going to be perfectly fast enough. Okay, so now that we have brine, we need to get this brine into an electrolytic separator, which is one of these guys here. Again, pretty simple to make. It's just infused alloys, iron, and a little bit of gold and iron dust and whatnot. Let's make one of those. Boop. And boop. Nice. Then we have to pull the brine out of here and get that into the electrolytic separator, like so. Let's configure that to extract. Nice, that's filling up with brine. Oh, luckily we have the extra lapidary dynamo now. We can actually set it up again to power this thing. Lapidary dynamo down. You should be receiving power. Not a whole lot of power, but enough to make us chlorine. Nice. And now we can finally make our chemical injection chamber, which is a lot of nested crafts. Finally, we have the chemical injection chamber. Oh, before I forget, we should also dump excess because we're going to be using the chlorine. And if this sodium builds up too much, the machine turns off and more chlorine won't be made. Although more importantly, let's turn this guy down. Oh, I just forgot. We also need hydrogen because we need to combine the hydrogen and chlorine to make hydrogen chloride. Aha, there's more mistakes to leave in the episode. Another electrolytic separator here. I'm going to bring this pipe all the way under, like so. There we go. Again, you separate hydrogen and oxygen, dumping excess. Although it should only be dumping excess oxygen, yeah. Now we need a machine called a chemical infuser. This guy here, which again is not actually that hard to make. And this guy goes in the middle here. Oh, he's loud. Chemical infuser, muffled. Ooh. And he takes chlorine and hydrogen and makes hydrogen chloride, which was the thing we needed to make diabase with the chemical injection chamber. Oh, this is such a convoluted, very, very convoluted way to get gray concrete powder and gray concrete. But like I said earlier, this is needed for the end of the pack. I am almost 100% sure I saw somewhere that you need concentrated dye or compacted dye or something. I can't see it in the J at the moment because I haven't unlocked it, but I'm almost sure that we need it for the end of the pack. So once again, let's set up another dynamo, put the chemical injection chamber down here. You receiving hydrogen chloride, input from the right, eject from the top, auto eject on, die. Yeah, you connect it up here. Sounds like something's working. Ooh, that sounds disgusting. Hey, there we go. Can't forget our trusty lock and quantify. But yeah, we are finally making dye. So the problem with this setup is actually nothing wrong with this setup. The problem is power. We don't have enough of it. We're running every machine on a separate dynamo, and it's still not enough. So after we do a little bit of decorating and building over there, I think it's probably time we finally get into power reactors. This has been a very strange start to an episode. A lot of tangents, a lot of faffing about. But yeah, let's quickly get into the guts of this episode. I hate it. Oh god, all that work, and I hate it. I cannot spend any more time trying to fix this up. I'll have a look at it between episodes, and if you guys like it, I'll leave it. Just needs a bit of a roof or a little bit of zhuzhing up. But if you guys like it, I'll leave it. Otherwise, I think I'm going to change it before the next episode. Oh god. 14 minutes of this episode was spent trying to get these blocks. And I hate it. Right, okay. So, what is this cube of dirt? Well, this is where our power reactor is going to be. So the power reactor is a 3x3x4 multi-block. Everything seems to be a multi-block today. But to get into it, we first need to get the basic building blocks of power. The last episode, we did get the dielectric paste, thankfully. But there are a few things that will help us to basically make this easier to get up to the higher tier of power. And that is unlocking Laserio and Flux Network. So let's make that book and that book. Submit, 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 and submit. So let's do a little bit of an explanation. Flux Networks is basically wireless power. Now it's a very, very small mod, but it's a mighty mod. The basic building blocks is this flux dust. And luckily enough, it's literally just redstone on bedrock. You put one block above the bedrock, some obsidian, right click it, there's a little bit of a boom, and the redstone turns into flux powder, and the obsidian turns into cobblestone. So we could do like 16, 20 stacks of redstone, make it into flux dust, and that's probably going to be enough for us for the rest of the season. The main thing we need is we need a flux controller with a basic flux storage on top. These can go bigger if we need to store more power. But this guy is like the central control system. This names the networks and, you know, stores some power and can allow us to actually wirelessly charge things. Then we need the flux plug, which is basically the way to get power out of a reactor or out of a generator into your power system. So this wirelessly puts power into this and subsequently this one. And then we have flux points, which take the power out of this and put it into machines. Are you following? It's quite easy. The next mod is also quite a small mod, but also very, very mighty. This mod, similarly to Flux Network, wirelessly, or in this case, laserly, using lasers, transports fluids, energy, items, you name it, it can transport it. You know what? It'll be easier to show you guys rather than me trying to explain it without having anything made. So let's first get Flux Network set up, and then we'll move on to Laserio. So we need redstone, quite a lot of redstone, 1 obsidian. Let's put a block down here, obsidian on top of it. Remove the block, make sure we turn off our magnet. Then we try and throw all of our redstone underneath that block, like so. Right click. Okay, not working. It's not working. Left, right. Oh, left click. And it missed most of it. Let's try that again. You know what? That's enough. So let's make up the flux controller, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flux blocks, 1 flux dust, and some flux cores. And I think each one of these is 4. So we need at least 21 flux cores. And for that, we need obsidian, flux dust, and eyes of ender. Luckily, we set up that ender ore miner between episodes. It's almost as if I knew this was coming up. So 1 flux controller. We may as well make a tank, 1 plug, and 1 point. So the important thing about Flux Networks, place this down and then you open the GUI. You see there's a lot of information. The first thing we need to do is create a new network. I make it public because I'm on this server on my own, and create. And you can also change the colors of this as well. I'm going to change it to brown for my fuzziness. And then on the top, we place the flux storage. We go to network selection and we select Fuzzy Cubs network. So now that is linked to that. And let's see, do we have any power cells? Okay, let's quickly set up 1 more lapidary dynamo. Hopefully the last one that we'll ever have to set up. A lapidary dynamo here. And now here is where the plug comes in. What we do now is place this plug on the lapidary dynamo. We again go to network selection, Fuzzy Cub, and now this is transferring 40 FE per tick right into that thing up there. This also comes with chunk loading capabilities. You can bypass limits, so the transfer limit is 800,000 per tick. So if you click the bypass limit, it bypasses that. And power surge means that if you get a sudden, very large draw of power, that it will allow a huge draw of power and it won't throttle your FE. Let's pop up here and we can see, slowly but surely, this is filling up with energy. The most important thing, in my opinion, is in this part of the menu here. So if we click on wireless charging, you can see that we can enable wireless. Now, it doesn't charge anything in your main inventory, but it does charge hotbar slots, offhand, main hand, armor slots, and your curio slots, which is the important thing for us. Because if we apply that and we go to our curio slots, this thing should be getting power and charging, and our magnet, if it's on here, should also be getting power and charging. So we're never going to need to put this guy back into the tinkering table. It will just be charged 100% on our person. Nice. But sadly, that little lapidary dynamo down there is not going to cut it. We need to get this reactor sorted. Hopping into our quest tab, this is kind of what we're dealing with today. So we have dielectric paste automated. And this guy here is, again, easy enough to make. It's just iron bars and dielectric paste. And this is needed to make energizing rods and an energizing orb. And the energizing orb, combined with the energizing rod, can make uraninite, and uraninite fuels reactors. That's pretty simple, but it's grindy and it takes a long time, so let's start it, and I'll kind of get the grindy bits done off camera and get back to it when we have some semblance of a reactor made. So let's make a few stacks of iron bars, and we get a stack of those, a stack of those, one of these bad boys, an orb, a basic starter rod, boop, a boop, and a boop. Nice. First thing we want to do with this stuff is we want to make uraninite so we can make a basic starter reactor, because you actually need uraninite to make these. And we need 36 of these reactive starter casings to make this multi-block. So let's place down the orb. Let's place down a mechanism cable. Now you can use the power cables, but I'm not really a big fan of them. I think these are much better, and they actually store power within them, not just transferring power. Let's pop this guy on top. Let's attach our flux point, which should be attached to my network. Yeah, and that is charging the cable, and thus charging the energizer rod starter. You see down there it says 10,000 out of 10,000 FE. Now, unfortunately, the energizing rod starter can only max in and out 100 FE per tick. And that is tiny compared to what we need to get all the way up to these. I don't think we need to go to nitro at the moment, but the possibility is there. Let's see about uraninite. To make uraninite, we need to put a uranium ingot into the orb and give it 30,000 FE. 30,000. Bear in mind, like I just said, that's 100 per tick. So if we place one of these in here, this thing will automatically connect to the orb. And that's going to take, what, about a minute? Less than a minute? It's going to take quite some time just to get one piece of uraninite. And we need 16 of these to get to the starter reactor. Now you can make more than one of these and put the cables like this and have more than one connecting. I actually don't even know if there is a limit to how much is connecting. But the problem we have at the moment is the power itself is not, we don't have a lot of power. So why don't we make two more of these guys, like so. Get them put on here. And let's make some uraninite. Now, the important thing about this is observing the recipe very, very closely. You see, if I put one in, they'll convert that into uraninite very, very quickly. If I want to do more than one, it says no. So you can only do one at a time, which is where Laserio comes in. Using Laserio, we can have two laser nodes, one to either side of the orb. We can have an item card with insert and an item card with extract, and we can have counting filters, which will count as many stuff as we need to put in. So for example, if you wanted to make the blazing crystal, you could count 4 blaze powder to go into the orb, or just 1 blaze rod. And it makes it very easy to automate as you go up the higher tiers of this, because like I just said earlier, it does get awfully grindy. So let's see about making some of these. We need to get logic chips, which are easily made, but you do have to smelt them. So let's make up some logic chips. I'll say 60 is probably fine. Smelt them up in our new redstone furnace. Oh, actually, might be a good time to check out our time in a bottle. We have 20 hours, nearly 21 hours saved up in this, so let's speed it up a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice. I keep forgetting about that. Maybe I should actually leave it in my inventory instead of putting it into my curio slots. Nice. So there we go, 60 logic chips. Let's make 2 of you. And then 2 of you. Make a couple of these. Unfortunately, they don't stack. But I think you can make this thing called the card holder, which should put all similar items in one slot. And then we also need a counting filter. Didn't want to shift click in there. Okay, there we go. So let's set up this guy. So first of all, input chest, output chest. Laser node for this one, and a laser node for this one. So we need to extract this into here. So we set one of these to extract mode. And then you look at the face you want to extract from. So that, and you should see a little laser connecting. So anything in here will now be extracted into this laser node as long as there's somewhere else for it to go. So if there's another connected inventory. Then we need to insert, but have a counting filter. We need 1 uranium ingot, and you don't actually have to have the correct amount. You can actually left click and right click to go up and down. But this is inserting into here. So we do that. And like you see, 1 has been taken out and 1 has been inserted. These will all turn it into the uraninite. And then we have to grab another one of these. Then we extract from this side. So that means that this will be extracted out into here. Can't go anywhere at the moment because there's no other inventory that is directed towards. But if we just say insert into here, that should be it, fully automated. And it's as easy as that. All we have to do now is just wait for a good bit more uraninite to come in, and we can finally get our starter reactor set up. And that's when the fun starts. I'm being sarcastic. It's not going to be fun. It's going to be hell. So we have 48 uraninite, meaning we can start getting this reactor made. So what do we need? We need 9 lots of this recipe. So we need 9 of these. 1, 3, 4, 5. Why won't you shift click out? 9. Then we need 36 of these, which is 16 of these. Which is that, and then we craft them down into the tiny base capacitors. Okay. And I think that's now enough to make all of the reactor bits. Serotonin! I needed that after whatever happened earlier. Okay, let's just make the rest of this. Did we count correct? We did count correct. Nice. So let's pop up here. Get rid of this. And the good thing about this is it's actually self-building. So as long as you have 36 reactor bits in your inventory of the same type, if you click this block, it will build the reactor here. So I'm going to right click on here, and it's going to build the reactor block by block. Nice. If anybody watches One Piece, which is like one of my favorite animes ever, don't these kind of look like poneglyphs? Is it just me being all nerdy? Yeah, it's probably just me being all nerdy. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go down over to here. I'm going to take off this guy here because I'm sorry, Mr. Laboratory Dynamo, but you're not powerful enough. I am going to put this on the front here, so it's connected to our Flux network over here, which has actually backed up quite a lot of juice. And then we're going to grab an exporter. We're going to grab uraninite, redstone blocks, coal blocks, and a bucket of water. Let's connect this guy here. So that will export stuff into our reactor. We want to put redstone blocks, uraninite, and coal in here. And you'll see that they are going to start filling this up. But this and this basically help the reactor be more efficient. It's not necessarily needed. Also, the ice here acts as an extra coolant. We will in this episode get a blast chiller going and have to export some more ice to this thing because I want as much power as possible. And then, as far as I know, in this pack, you only need 1 bucket of water to go in, and it's full, basically. It's always full. And let's pop in all the uraninite we have. It's not a whole lot, but let's turn it on, and that should be extracting all the power and storing it in here. Now, I know the reactor looks like it's not working, but it is working. And as soon as this here fills up, and as soon as this buffer here fills up, it will fill up to 70%. And as soon as it reaches 70%, it should stop burning any fuel. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and I'm going to go up the levels. I'm going to go from starter all the way up to blazing. Am I going to go to Neotic? Maybe. You know what? I'm going to go until I can't go no more. So, I'll be back, but basically when I'm back. Okay, so we've reached an interesting crossroads or intersection, as we'll call it. I've gone all the way up to the Harden Reactor. We are making 1,500 FE per tick, which is really, 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 really good. It will get better when we can make the ice and get it piped in automatically. But the problem at the moment is these guys. They are still the energizing rod starter. And to upgrade these to energizing rod basic, we need quartz. But unfortunately, we don't have quartz unlocked yet. And I think quartz unlocks when you unlock refined storage. So it looks like we're going to have to end the episode here. I can unlock it now, and I will unlock it next episode, but I think at this moment the episode's gone on long enough, and we should probably just, rest our little brain a little bit. So, if you liked today's episode, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. I really, 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 really like your guys' comments. They help me a lot, and I really enjoy reading them. And while you're down there in the comment section, why don't you click on the join button, join the Fuzzy family, my members only area, where you can get to use custom emojis on live streams, and you get a mention at the end of every single video as a thank you for allowing me to make content just like this. And until next time, I'll see all you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oh, I don't have my angel ring on.